This episode is brought to you by Muntins Malts, a company that is passionate about providing premium malts to brewers worldwide. For over a century, Muntins has been a leading supplier of brewing and distilling malts, offering the finest British malted barley on the market. You can experience the difference Muntins offers by joining a recipe receiving tier of our Trub Club, because every kit that ships out now includes premium Muntins malt. You know, we've known the Muntins crew for a long time, and I can tell you, friend, you're going to love brewing with their grains. Ask your local supply shop to carry Muntins malts, or homebrewers can join our Trub Club at homebrewhappyhour.com/club, be a part of the community, and come brew with us. Thank you, Muntins, for supporting our efforts and homebrewers worldwide. Today's show is brought to you by Hopsdirect.com. Grown in the esteemed Yakima Valley on the Pewterball family farm, Hopsdirect.com offers the widest variety of hops available online at incredibly competitive pricing. It's simple. They grow hops, they sell hops, and they ship hops straight from their family-owned farm to your doorstep. Producing the highest quality hops is Hopsdirect.com's passion, and they're proud to be an independent grower in the craft beer industry. Go to Hopsdirect.com right now and get what you need to make your brew day better. That's Hopsdirect.com. Today's show is brought to you by Imperial Yeast. You hear us gushing over Imperial Yeast all the time, and that's because their yeast performs for us in every batch that we brew. Imperial Yeast is adored by commercial breweries and home brewers alike. Their pitch-right pouches are jam-packed with over 200 billion fresh yeast cells, guaranteed to deliver flawless, fast fermentations every time. Imperial Yeast strains are grown by a team of pro brewers and home brewers who live to help other brewers learn more and ferment better. Join any recipe receiving tier of our Trub Club and get a free upgrade to premium Imperial Yeast with every recipe kit that ships out to you. Learn more at homebrewhappyhour.com/club and come brew with us.
Entertaining shows with content that spreads information and sparks discourse throughout the community. This is the Pearl Media Network.
One base malt to rule them all, 2 taps, 1 keg, and calculating correct temps after mashing in. This is Homebrew Happy Hour, episode 443. I'll get this figured out. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Homebrew Happy Hour. This is the show where we supply the answers to your homebrewing questions and discuss all things related to craft beer. And if you, my friend, have a question you'd like to discuss on a future episode, you could go to homebrewhappyhour.com. You could email Joshua at homebrewhappyhour.com, but even better, call it in to 325-305-6107. And when I use your question on a future episode, you'll get yourself a gift card to kegconnection.com. I'm one of your hosts, Joshua Stubing, joined as always by the Director of Operations at cmbecker.com over there, Mr. James Carlson, as well as the President and Chief Keg Washer of Keg Connection LLC, directly below me, Mr. Todd Burns. Gentlemen, welcome back. I feel like it's been so long since I've had y'all on. Todd's been out, James has been busy, and I've been BSing. I don't know if y'all, I won't be so presumptuous to assume y'all watch the show ever, period. I mean, especially when you're on it, because you already lived it. Like I've had guests before that will tell me that they watched the show and they liked how it went when they're on it, and I'm like, dude, I only watch it when I'm editing it. I don't actually watch the show, because I'm experiencing it. But I tried to do an episode by myself, mixed feedback. So I'm not going to do that again. Next time, James, I am going to bother you. Like I kind of was like, I don't want to bother him. He's busy. No, I'm going to bother you next time. I'm going to guilt trip you. I do think because it was a little rough. But Mr. Burns, it's good to see you. How are you?
Good. How are you? I had a little fiasco this morning with my pool, and we have guests coming in, so I've got that. I just finished getting that fixed.
Yeah. And
I got one. So I got the part I needed, and I fixed it. And I had to take another one apart, and then it wouldn't seal. So
fun.
Yeah, I finally got it to seal though.
I feel like it's always something, and not just with you. I mean, period. It's like my just random stuff, whether with my kids or whatever. It's like, oh, this came up. Oh, the car. Like I told you, the van broke down and got to replace the coil packs. Is that what they're called? Coil pads.
Yep.
And those came in. So my pop is going to come help me do that at some point. Yeah, it's always something. But anyways, we do have a jam-packed show. This is the first episode where we're trying out the new video software. So far on my end, it's good. So people who watch at youtube.com/homebrew happy hour, you can let us know. I think it's even better video quality as I go through all the different cameras like Todd's and then James and then mine.
Yeah, you can even see Gracie.
Look, yeah, it's a full
Right
frame.
there.
Doesn't it feel like it's more full frame than Zoom was? I don't know what
Yeah.
it is. It feels better, but that could just be me because I'm so bitter about how bad Zoom has been since they did some workplace update. But this is I have to give credit where credit's due. My buddy Trent Musho, his YouTube channel, The Brew Show, he introduced me to this video. I think video.ninja. Yeah. So
You just picked it because Ninja was in the title.
that's right.
I know
Yeah, because I do. Every time Todd talks about jujitsu with me, well, first off, I don't want to call it what you call it because that's just rude. But you always you're like, oh yeah, karate, yeah, even though it's more like wrestling. But you're always yeah. It's so insufferable.
Does that annoy you?
No, not at all. What do you mean? No, I love it, boss. I love
Just
it.
checking. Checking.
I have a little bit of small talk and we got 3 great questions. The first bit of small talk, friends, if you go to patreon.com/homebrew happy hour, join a recipe receiving tier, you're going to get the original Fat Tire clone recipe kit sent out to you, not the new. What would you call it now, guys? Is it a golden ale? It's not an amber ale. Is it? Do they still consider it an amber ale? I really don't know.
I've seen it several times, but I refuse to try it. So,
Oh, you haven't even tried.
Yeah.
See, I've tried it.
I've got it. It doesn't taste the same.
Correct.
So.
I agree with that completely. And at one point, I did mention that on the show like forever ago. And someone said, well, New Belgium's always tweet that recipe. I was like, no, this is a whole change. This wasn't a tweet. This was like an entire restructuring of the original recipe. Nothing is left, in my opinion. But anyway, someone might correct me. But you can Zoom. You can brew the original Fat Tire if you reminisce the nostalgia of better days by going to patreon.com/homebrew happy hour. And again, join a recipe receiving tier. Thank you to our sponsors, hopsdirect.com, Munton's Malt, Imperial Yeast, and Monster Brewing Hardware. These people take good care of us, make sure these recipe kits ship out with the finest ingredients, and we could not be happier about it. I did say, I had a note on my phone. I don't know if y'all remember, we used to do a show when we used to run a homebrew supply shop and called Recipe Recap and Review. And someone reminded me that the Fat Tire clone was the first episode that we did of that. And since then, Todd has sold the domain homebrewsupply.com. That was what we were doing the show for, get people to do our recipes. I don't know if you know this, the link now to our old recipe, it goes to More Beer because they're the ones who bought it. We love More Beer. They're good guys. They have a clone recipe that they linked our old one to, and they call it Plump Wheel. I really like it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Isn't that funny?
That's funny.
Yeah. So there's
Pretty clever.
the Plump Wheel Amber Ale. So it is, they don't break it down with the bill, but looking at the recipe sheet and all that, I'm safe to say if y'all want to buy just a pre-made kit, you could go there. And it actually has I think it has a link in there that shows where the traffic came from. So at least our friends at More Beer will appreciate us sending people their way. But the best way to do it is by joining at patreon.com/homebrew happy hour. I don't have anything else in small talk. I'm excited to have y'all here. James has an important call here like pretty soon, so we gotta get through this show, get through these questions. Y'all tell me on your end if you hear the gong of questions. Did it come through?
I didn't hear
It
anything.
did.
Oh, did? Ah, okay. I thought.
Damn it! I should have planned that with you ahead of time, James.
Joe Todd. See, the calendar questions means that we are on to our questions. And the first question for this week's episode, it's an email from our buddy Christopher T. And Christopher wrote, "Hi guys, my name is Chris and I have recently taken over at a learning brewery in Australia. To start with, thanks for the show. I have learned so much from it. James, your technical advice has improved my brewing immensely. Todd, I really appreciate your business ethic, and I have definitely taken your advice on some stuff since the podcast started. Josh, I am still waiting for all the memoirs that you have given the titles of, but the impression of Todd is spot on. Thank you. I found your podcast on Spotify early last year and just binged them all on my way to work. Now it is the first thing I look for to listen to every Friday on my way to work. Don't be too hard on yourselves about the first 50. They're really not that bad. That now y'all know I made up this email. This guy's not real. No, they're really not that bad. In past years, we, talking about his brewery, have had several different recipes that include several different specialty grains. Our problem now is that we have a lot of different grains, but the recipes have become too complicated for new students to be able to effectively brew before the grain goes bad. We still want to be able to brew a range of styles as we are able to sell to staff and limited to parents. My intention is to have a single base malt that can be used across several different styles so we can have a limited supply of specialty grains on hand to avoid spoiling. What kind of base malt would you recommend for this purpose? I am also looking for a Christmas gift for my mother-in-law. I noticed on episode 439 with Chondy has a champagne saver. I've been looking for it, but can't seem to find it. Do you know where I can get a hold one of these? Josh, you do a great job with the show. Keep it up. I love the banter between you guys. And if y'all ever find yourselves out in Australia, hit me up. I would love to host you guys at the brewery. Regards, Christopher T. I love it. Was long, and I know sometimes that those can drag on, but I loved every word of it because I don't know if y'all know, we actually have a growing audience in Australia. We do pretty well there. In America, dozens of people entertain. In Australia, whatever's more than 20s of people are entertained. We actually have a great community there. I have to follow with our buddy, Jonathan Marut, because he offered to do a meetup. I don't remember how late last minute it was, and I forget where he was there, but I know we do have a growing community there. It's always nice to hear from you.
We should do a whole episode with our Australian accents.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. That'll be an AI episode. It'll just be Crocodile Dundee doing the voices. But no, I'm going to throw this to James first, mostly because I think you have brewed styles like recently you brewed a Pilsner not that long ago using Planet Malt, which is basically a 2-row. And so I wonder if that would be the option best suited. But go ahead. I'll let you take the floor.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Hands down. If you want to get to just one base malt, just do Pale Malt, Planet Malt, 2-row. There's a bunch of different names for it. It's basically just Pale Malt. The Lovey Bond's like 2 to 2.5, so it's going to be a little bit darker than like a Pilsner malt's like 1 to 1.5, I think. But yeah, that's what I would do. You can pretty much do any style. The only thing I saw different is just a little bit more body, but it didn't take away or distract away from what I was trying to brew. And a little darker color. But when I say darker, it really wasn't. It was just a shade little, if it was just me and I was just going to stick one kind, I would do Pilsner because that's all I brew. But if you want to do different styles, absolutely just do some 2-row or Pale Malt.
Yeah, and that's the reason I asked you is because I know you had told me that you had brewed a Pilsner, and I think I'd asked like, "Oh, we getting low on lager malt? Do I need to?" This is before we got the whole new order in. And you're like, "No, actually, I use Planet," and I don't remember if it was because there was a bag open or whatever reason. But you had told I was shocked that you were like, it actually was just more bodied, and it wasn't your
and I'm going to shock the listeners, so I'm going to tell y'all a story real quick. When I brewed, I got busy having to build a bunch of stuff for the orders on that day, and typically it's on a Friday, so everything going, and I had my strike water temperature going in my Brautag at 154. So you want to go, I try to hit between 148, 150, and usually if 3 or 4 degrees above that, I'm usually good. Well, I wasn't thinking, and I struck the grains and never dropped it down. So I was pretty much in alpha range, which is a longer sugar chain, so it gets you a little more body. And probably need to check the thermometer or the sensors on the system because I ended up making an IPA. just because I thought, I'm not going to dump this. I'm going to make something out of it. So, and I did kind of like a citrus, kind of like a New England style IPA. Did a 30 and a 20 hop edition, and then I did a 180 at the Whirlpool.
Is that
And
the
that
one I
thing-
tried yesterday?
It is, yes.
Yeah, I was. So that's funny you say that because you never told me what style of beer it was.
Yeah.
And I tasted it, and I kept waiting for you to say, it's too hoppy. I don't know how I got it so hoppy. And now I realize that you actually made an IPA. You never said anything. I thought you were, now I totally understand.
Well, I wanted to salvage it, and I knew that would be a little bit on body, but I was more concerned about gravity, final gravity.
No, it was really good.
The damn thing finished at 10:10. So anyway, I'll keg it tomorrow, and because Todd's going to brew on it here in the office, and I need to get it ready for him.
And remind me, was it a smash? What did you use?
No, I did. I did I did 2 different hop editions, and I want to say one of them was Magnum, and the other one was Galaxy.
Oh, Citra.
And then
I remember you telling me.
And then I did Citra in the Whirlpool. So
That's
that's
right.
what you mainly smell when it comes up, but it came out all right.
Yeah.
So it definitely saved the batch of beer. So Todd will get a keg of beer. If you want, you can have a keg of it.
No, brother.
I didn't figure you did.
And also,
and
too,
then I don't have any beer at home, so I'll probably just take the rest. And
Whoa!
It's good. I mean, it was really good.
Hold on, I need a noise because he's taking home an IPA. Oh my gosh! Yeah,
beer's expensive.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Oh man, don't I know it?
Those are so weird.
When we went to when we were all in Colorado City together shopping for beer, I was like, "How much? What?"
It's crazy.
And we weren't even.
I've noticed some states are a lot more expensive. I didn't realize Colorado was one, but you go to some states on the East Coast and go in and just to buy what I would call a normal, of course, a decent beer, but not a super high end beer, and you're like, $14? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. No, I meant our trip to Colorado City for that install when we were buying beer, and it wasn't even. It wasn't even good.
Colorado.
Yeah, but
City.
and it wasn't bad beer, but it was like the price of Shinerbach. I could not believe the price of Shinerbach.
A 12-pack of bottles here in Comanche, Texas, is $22.
That's what I mean. I was like, "What the heck happened?" No wonder young people aren't drinking; they can't afford it.
And it's funny because Stefan, the president of the factory in Dusseldorf, home of the alt beer. His favorite beer is Shinerbach.
In that, I know it's so hilarious, and he offers to do beer trade, and you already know what he wants. He already knows what you want. It's the funniest beer trade. Like, James, I'll give you Schlussel, and you're like, okay, I'm packing up the Shiner. Like,
yeah. How much Shiner do you need? Because it's funny.
When is the next time he's coming up? Do y'all have any idea? It's been a while since he's been. Down here. I'm only saying that because I was thinking maybe we brew a Bock, like find a Shiner clone, because that would probably be way cheaper than buying a keg to have on tap at the barn. But that would be fun actually to find a Shiner Bock clone. They've got to be out there.
Yeah, but it uses 6-row and it uses some corn, I believe, in it.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
I cannot tell about the corn part. Could not tell. Interesting. Todd, when back to the question, sorry, Chris, if he's been listening to the show, he already knows that I digress way too much, but back to his question, because we haven't wrapped it up. Todd, do you agree with the assessment that pale malt 2-row Planet, if you're using Muntons like we do, is the most versatile, if you were just to stock a single one? Now, obviously that's not your real life scenario, but gun to your head, you got to stock one. Which one are you choosing?
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, I was like, maybe I'll drag something out of him for there, but I wasn't. Yeah. Well, if y'all watched the episode that I did by myself, there was one question where I tried to drag it out as much as possible, and I was like, oh, is this what it feels like for Todd and James when I'm just like stretching something? I was like, I'm getting sick of myself. This is terrible. But I do wonder though, like, I guess. People who store specialty grains, James, they're not doing it in the big sacks of it. That's why it's easier to store. Because I'm thinking too, like there's a crap ton that's Imperial. There's a crap ton of specialty grains you could stock. And I just wonder, like, if off the top of your head, is there some you would keep on hand more than others, again, for the sake of versatility? Because we can't go down the rabbit hole of every specialty grain that exists for every scenario, because
it's too much to list.
Way too much.
Protein malt for head retention would be carapils. And then if you want to add some color, you can do some, if you just want to add color, you can do a pretty dark roasted malt, like a black patent, very sparingly, or any kind of dark roasted debittered malt. But then if it was me, I would have just the 2-row carapils and maybe some 40 or 60L roast malt. And, that's about it.
Yeah. And those things, like, especially like when you get to the black patent or chocolate carafas, whatever, you can buy a pound and it'll last you a while. Like, cause we're talking,
you can just get it as you need it. Yeah. Rather than store it. But typically you're going to use, 80 to 90% of your base malt is going to be base malt. Typically, on mine, it's 95% or more.
Yeah.
But that's what you're going to buy in bulk to save money. So that would be the one you'd want to store in a cool, dry place. And we had a big chest fridge it was a freezer we converted to a fridge, and I kept it in that. So that was when we had Big Bertha and we were doing 40-gallon batches. But if you're not wanting to store that much, you can go to Walmart and get one of them big plastic containers and then just store it if you got a big closet somewhere or under your bed, or just seal it up in somewhere that it's room temp or a little cooler.
Yeah, I don't remember if I told y'all when I was up. It happened a few months ago, but y'all told me. I even asked it on a show once, like, "Hey, is my garage gonna be fine?" And James, you specifically were like, "No, dude, you can't store grain in the garage. It's too much of a temperature flux." And
and if you get any kind of infestation with weevils or
where I'm going.
Warm temperature is just a breeding ground. They'll go to town.
You know where I'm going with it. I was like, what are they? Old men, old dogs. They don't know. And like, I don't know, 6-8 weeks ago, whenever I'd noticed, the container I had out there that had some lager malt in it, Weevil City. So what I did was I scooped as much as I could in bags and threw it in my freezer. And I got basically, at that point, I think we only had maybe 20 pounds of it in there. So it didn't take up too much freezer space. But I nipped it in the butt before they husked everything out or whatever they do. They eat the, insides out and whatever. But yeah, you were absolutely right. So I'm now working on my wife. We have this storage space underneath the stairs that goes up to my oldest daughter's bedroom, and I'm trying to convince her to let me use that under there instead of for Christmas decorations, for containers for grain. I think
that'd be ideal.
I think it's a worthy substitution. She does not, and so I'm worried. I know, Todd. Isn't that wild? Our wives aren't on board and supportive.
I wonder why.
Yeah. Just ask her. She's probably, I don't know what time it is right now of the day, but she's probably pissed at me for something. But wrapping up Christopher's question, real quick before wrapping it up, you email Trong if you want that Champagneur. I have no idea why it's not on his website yet. I'll text him after the show, but I bought a couple from him and he sent them my way, so I know he has them in stock if you want them. If you got Todd and James, if y'all don't know, he invented like a carbonation cap that fits on wine bottles as well. So it'll go on screw tops, it'll go on wine bottles, it fits everything, so that if people open up a bottle of champagne and they don't want to finish it all at that moment, they can still they can cap it up and recarbonate it before serving again to keep it up.
Nice.
Yeah, he's had some restaurants across the world already order some. So you know how Trong is. I mean, y'all been on the phone. I love Trong, one of my favorite people, but like he'll call me and be like, "I've invented this thing." And then 40 minutes later, I'm like, "Send me one. I want one." So, Chris, if you're looking for that, call Trong, and I know he ships to Australia, so you'll be good there. And then, I think we actually covered everything that we needed to in his show. So, Christopher, we appreciate you so much. We would have loved to hear that voicemail. And if you, my friends, like Christopher, have a question you'd like us to discuss on a future episode, sure, you could email it to us. We'd be happy to take it. that'd be great. But even better, call it in to 325-305-6107. And when I use it on a future episode, the voicemail, get yourself a gift card to kegconnection.com. Moving on to question number 2. It's a text message from our buddy Howard, and he wrote, "Hey Josh, I have a short question about inserting a Y or a T into a liquid line to serve the same beer from 2 taps. A Y seems to be my cheapest option, but is it the best option?" Todd, I did talk to the guy, and I have some more context before I throw this to you first. He said he hosts a lot of parties. He has a 2-faucet tower on his kegerator, but it's a kegerator that would not fit 2 half-barrel kegs, and he wants a half-barrel keg of craft beer on tap. And so he figures if he has it serving out of both taps, that's the most efficient way for an upcoming party that he's hosting, if that makes sense. Like
so what did he say again? I missed the...
He has 1 keg that he wants to serve from his 2 taps tower.
Uh-huh.
And he wants
that's super easy. So, what...
As in just putting a Y? Is that, I don't
know. I guess what I'm not sure is he just wants to know how to do that.
Yes. He's wondering what's the ideal way of serving 1 keg through 2 taps simultaneously.
Yeah. But you just Y it off. So you just take the 2 lines they're serving the beer and the 2 lines that are supplying the gas. You can use a 2-way air distributor, or you could use a Y on the gas side. And then you would just have a Y on the liquid side as well to give it so basically you're taking 1 line and making it into 2 at the end.
The gas would be the same, because remember, it's the same keg. So the gas side wouldn't be different at all, right?
But you still got it's the same keg.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. So all you need is just the liquid side.
Right.
Y.
And so I took the question. One, we haven't had one like this, but his case scenario, I have had people brought up to me before where they're like, "Hey, I know it sounds goofy, but what do you think about this?" If people are self-serving, or I guess even in a scenario where you have a bartender, if you're just having the same beer and you have multiple taps, in my opinion, it makes total sense to try to get that beer to every tap. I mean, it's the same. It's not like the keg's not going to go any faster or any slower in theory by either just making people wait off of 1 tap or, we're serving multiple. Maybe people will drink faster. I don't know. I can't comment on that. That's a per case thing. But I am curious though, and I'm going to drag it out a little for you, Todd. Having that liquid split off, that doesn't affect any ratio for restriction, or how does that factor in now?
Yeah, you would use the same restriction as you would on anything else. So
go ahead.
So if whatever you're going to, so if you need 5 feet of line to get proper restriction, let's say, or 6 feet of line, then you need 6 feet total going to each keg. So if you've got, 5 feet or 4 feet coming from the keg, and then you have a Y in the middle, then you'd need 2 more feet if you need 6 feet total going to each keg.
Yeah, and that's 2 per line is what you mean, because it needs to be 6 total per line. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get out of you. I believe it or not, I knew that answer. I was just trying to get it out there. I was underhand tossing.
Why didn't you just say it then?
Because you're on the show.
Oh, I got you.
I am proud of myself for knowing that, because I assumed, where I was going to go with it is I actually already know Howard has Ep.443 faucets like what I use, because that's what he's tested us
so
before.
Then he don't have to worry about it.
That's what I was going to come back and say, actually, Todd, he has Ep.443s. It doesn't matter. The restriction doesn't matter. But it does. Well, I say that can't. I don't want to clip that or have the potential that getting clipped into somebody saying you said restriction doesn't matter. No, what I should say is he's using 5/16 line liquid lines, and he has like a short run already, and so he's going to cut into that short run, put a Y, and do 2 more short runs. And he was asked, is that going to be a problem? When I was getting more info out of him, and I said, no, that's not going to be a problem at all, because those Ep.443s are fantastic. Like, ask my pop. Those are I mean, I'm saying this in a self-deprecating way because they're not cheap, but like they're the poor man's V10s, you know? They're like the working man's V10s.
I use them at home on my. I have a little kegerator up at the pool. It uses those. I mean, they work great.
Yeah, actually, our Ep.443 showcase video is you up at the pool. You using the. I don't know if you remember that.
So people know that.
So people know that they get to see the pool and all that. You know what, Jolly? I was trying to think in my head as I was talking. How can I drag this out to bother them more? But I can't. So I'm just going to say, Howard, thank you so much for submitting that question. A final reminder as we go in to the third question that if you have something you'd like us to discuss, you could email or text. Even better, have I told y'all? There's a hotline, 325-305-6107. When I use the voicemail that you're going to leave on a future episode, you get yourself a gift card to kegconnection.com. Unfortunately, though, our last question is not a voicemail. It's a text from our buddy Nolan, kind of a long one. He says, Joshua, thank you for helping me so quickly the other day. It is refreshing that you guys always reply so quickly, even via text. I also have a question for the pod. What's the ideal temp to store my grains in? And also, what is the ideal temperature to get my mashing water up to start mashing at 152? I'm always a few degrees low, and you would think that raising my temperature by a few degrees, the next batch would solve that. But I'm still finding that after I mash in my grains, I'm around at 147, and it takes a few minutes to get the temperature back up to 152. Any formulas you guys could share? Nolan. I'm going to throw this to James first. Well, first, it is, so we already discussed like the storing grains part, where ideally, obviously, a cool, dry place, a closet, room temp is fine. It doesn't have to be a walk-in storage. If you had walk-in, that'd be great too. But what would you do, James, in this scenario that, like, would you measure your grains first before starting your strike water? Or is there like a rule of thumb you have? Because I know for you, 147, that's not that bad. Like that's
but when I'm brewing Pilsners, I want to stay in the beta range, which is anything under 150. But a lot of people will they'll do both. So they'll start in the beta, in the 40s, and then they'll finish off at the alpha, which would be, the mid 50, like 55 degrees. But if he's wanting to hit, the first thing I would say is going to Brewer's Friend. They've got calculators in there, and that's what we did forever. It's going to ask you how much grain in pounds that you're using. Then it's going to ask the strike water volume. In other words, if you're like with us, when I try to calculate, and a lot of this is just automatic, Todd's the same way. We kind of get used to brewing a certain way. So I'll shoot for 13 gallons. A typical batch is, between 28 and 30 pounds of malt. And that is roughly works out to about 1.5 quarts per pound of grain. And then I'll shoot for around 154, 153, 154. But keep in mind, this is a Herm system, so it's always circulating. So we don't need to adjust near as much to get where we need to do. I know with Big Bertha, I'd be almost 10 degrees above in strike water temperature just to get it to settle out where we wanted it to. But long story short, you can go into Brewer's Friend, go to the tools, and then go to Mash Infusion calculator, because that's where it's got the strike water temp. So in this one, if you're doing 8 pounds and you're doing like this one's got it set up for 12.5 quarts. Your target is 152. Your grain temperature is 70. And it's saying that the strike temp of your water should be 165.
Oh, wow.
I don't go near that high up because I know how the system works. So we generally go, through, like I said, 3 or 4 degrees. But because it's circulating all the time, it's getting that wort to temperature a lot quicker than just setting there. So there's lots of strike water calculators. Just find one online. They're easy to use. They pretty much they'll tell you exactly what you need to put in. And I did that for years.
Yeah, and I am ashamed to say that I've never used the calculator, and we have just my pop and I 9 out of 10 times have lucked out. Like totally,
Yeah.
it's the grain. I say I'm not using a calculator. That is not completely genuine. We put everything into the Grainfather app so that it holds our hand throughout the brew day, and I assume that it knows, or it's assuming the temperature of our grains, and that's why it sets whatever it does before it tells us, "Hey, dummy, time to mash in." So I'm being a little dishonest. Like we're using an automated calculator, like where we don't have to do it. It's the future. We're living, it's the step between the now and Skynet is what we're using right now. Todd, do you calculate your temps as well? Because I don't even know what you store. I've seen you bring.
Well, I'd like to, but what is that noise behind you, Josh? Is that a bus coming your way?
No, what are you talking about?
I think I hear a bus coming your way.
Oh God, what are you doing? Get it over with. Get it over with. Go ahead.
This is like the 20th time I've mentioned it, but we used to have all these calculators on our website, but none of them work still.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't know how to do it. Why
don't you just take them off? Because it's embarrassing.
Who is it embarrassing to? Oh, to me. Oh, to me. Oh, you mean it's supposed to be embarrassing?
I went because we talked about it like a year ago, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna make sure I tell everybody to use the Strikewater volume calculator and the Strikewater on our.
It was not a year ago. It wasn't even 9 months ago. How dare
I agree.
you?
I think it was more than a year ago, but I was trying to be nice.
No way, dude.
Which time are you talking about?
Though? Well, dude, I can't even find it in documentation yet. I'm frantically deleting emails.
No, I'm with James. I almost always use a calculator.
Yeah. Well, and like out of your way, not just the Broadside doesn't have automation, but y'all use Brewer's Friend calculator. And by the way, I think the app. Well, James, you have an iPhone. I think the app on there is actually phenomenal, and I think they.
Yeah, I have apps.
I don't remember if
calculator apps on my phone too.
Yeah, I don't remember if they re-released the Android app, but I know the Apple app for sure is great. And it's funny. I actually have to reach out to Lorena. 2 days ago, my membership had just expired, so I gotta bother her about that.
We have a lifetime membership.
I know you're the only one. James, you didn't get it upgraded, did you? Because I didn't have a lifetime like Todd. Yours is annual.
No, she renews us every year, but we weren't. Todd was the only one given a lifetime.
I hate that, man. Every time. And so we all joined at the same time.
I know, I just brought it up because I knew it bothered you, John.
It does. So. It does. It bothers me like every time we see Annie Johnson and she doesn't remember my name. It bothers me like how every time someone drops something off at a booth we're working, it's Todd's by default. It's always Todd. I'm like, oh, that's a real cool. And there was a time he got a growler, James. This was.
Oh, you're not going to tell that story.
I am. Great American Beer Festival 2013. He got a growler, 2 growlers sent to the booth, and I was like, "Oh, that's a cool growler." They're collecting dust in a storage container. You don't even use them. It's the principle of it. He just keeps them. He doesn't.
I like them.
Yeah, they look real good on my shelf. Anyway. Nolan, I wish I could drag this out more for you. We already kind of covered the ideal temp to store grains and the mashing and all that. But yes, you using a calculator, going to Brewer's Friend, they have a free one. I guarantee if you're using any of the other software apps, Brewfather, Beersmith, pardon me, there's a ton of them. You can find what you're looking for. But yeah. Calculators are your friends. We are living in the best time ever to be in a.
Can you hear me?
I hear you now. Yeah.
No. Is there I swear a lot of those calculators have the grain temperature on there too, right?
Yeah, they do.
I think I'd mentioned that on the calculator.
Yeah. So they're on there. Yep. So yeah, Nolan, thank you so much for submitting that question. And a final reminder, my friends, that if you have something you'd like us to discuss on a future episode, you could text it like Nolan to our hotline. You could email it like our first question from Christopher. But even better, because I need voicemails, call it in to 325-305-6107. When I use your question on a future episode, get yourself a gift card to kegconnection.com. Gentlemen, that's all the time I had. That's all I need you for this week. I think I got James out in perfect time for your call.
Perfect.
It was a short episode, but hey, we got a lot of information out there. We'll come back next week with some more stuff. Guys, I appreciate y'all's time, and I'll talk to y'all later.
All right.
See ya.
And that will do it for this episode of the Homebrew Happy Hour. If you have a question you'd like us to discuss on a future episode, you could go to homebrewhappyhour.com, click on that submitted question link at the top of the page. But for the 19,000th time this episode have I mentioned, you should call it in to 325-305-6107. Also, thank you to our show sponsors like Muntins Malt, premium grains for a better brew day. If you aren't already using Muntins, give them a try by joining the Trub Club at a recipe receiving level. For the best hops available online, give our friends at hopsdirect.com a visit and pick up what you need for your next brew day. Also, get a pack of premium imperial yeast along with delicious recipes from us when you join the Trub Club for the 20 millionth time this episode. Go to patreon.com/homebrew happy hour and come brew with us. On behalf of Todd Burns, James Carlson, and the Pearl Media Network, I'm Joshua Stubing. Thanks for listening.